What's up, Ben? How's it going, man?
All right, man. How are you?
I'm all good, I'm all good. Listen, I wasn't really prepared for this over the weekend. On Sunday, the news broke out of Germany, big news, that Thomas Tuchel could be on his way to Arsenal to take over from Arsene Wenger. It's news that Arsenal fans have been praying for ages, the end of Wenger's tenure. But Ben, do you think it's going to happen? And is Tuchel the right man for Arsenal?
On the first one, I don't think it's going to happen. So I'm not sure if it's worth talking about the second one. But let me explain why I don't think it's going to. I mean, kicker are usually a very reliable source of news, but then later on Sunday there came a lot of other kind of very well-respected journalists in Germany saying there's actually not that much truth in it. It's still Tuchel's got choices of Arsenal, PSG and Chelsea. I think you've got to look at the market, the manager market in this case, in terms of, look, Tuchel's been out of work. There's going to be a lot of changes this summer in terms of managerial merry-go-round.
Definitely.
Tuchel wants to get himself in there. So whether he is behind the scenes, it's impossible to know for us. But publicly, he's now very much in the mix for PSG, Chelsea and Arsenal. There is a lot of Arsenal fans, a lot of Dortmund fans yesterday were talking about he actually doesn't get along with Sven.
Mislintat.
Yeah, they had a big argument. So I'm not sure how true that is. I think Tuchel does want to manage in England. I'm just not sure he's of the calibre that if you're going to sack Arsene Wenger, which is probably what Arsenal should do, whether he is a good enough manager for them, whether he's proved himself. Like, I saw people comparing him yesterday to Pep and Klopp. Like, seriously, that is just way... Like, the guy did well, but not unbelievably well. I think you're getting way too ahead of yourself. So, I don't think he's going to be the Arsenal manager next season. And I also don't think he'd be the best choice. But I think he fits the... Sorry to cut you off. He fits the profile of the choice. I think they need a young guy, and he fits that. And they need an energetic guy. They need the opposite of Wenger, but he needs to be somebody who's like a Simeone. Would be my choice, but I don't think he's going to leave Atletico. What do you think is going to happen, and do you think he would be good?
I don't know. Listen, I think that we have to take a second to consider the sources of the news where it came from yesterday. Kicker with the source, German magazine Kicker. Now, if you look at a lot of people rate Kicker very, very highly. They're a highly reliable source of news. And they made some crazy, big statements in their article. They actually said that Tuchel had signed a contract with Arsenal, which is pretty crazy.
They were, just to point out, that they were the first publication in Germany to say that Pep was joining City.
Yes. And also, so this also came on the back of, on Saturday night in Germany, Bild, the big tabloid newspaper, who are less reliable. They came out with Tuchel had turned down Bayern Munich. So Bayern Munich, they have Jupp Heynckes in charge, but they need a new manager going forward. They tried to get Tuchel, but he said, no, I don't want to go there. I want to go to a different team. He clearly has ambitions to manage somewhere else on the continent or in the Premier League. The two clubs that have been linked with him are obviously Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain, but the Paris Saint-Germain links are also pretty crazy because at the same time as all this going on, the Italian press are linking Antonio Conte, the Chelsea manager, with Paris as well. In fact, in today's Corriere dello Sport on Monday, they said that Conte's been offered 11 million euros a season to sit on the bench at Paris Saint-Germain next season. Conte's got issues with Chelsea. Everyone knows this about the transfer policy. So, I don't know. I'm not willing to say yet that Tuchel is not going to Arsenal. I think there's a long time to play out over here. There's another just over 2 months until the end of the season. It's just interesting that, as you mentioned it, Ben, there's musical chairs this summer with managers. There's quite a few. There's Tuchel, obviously. There's Ancelotti out of a job. You've got Andres Villas-Boas out of a job. We've got Wenger, whose position's in problematic. We've got Pochettino, your manager, being linked with Paris Saint-Germain. There's a lot of things that are going on right now.
I think if I was to stick my neck on the line, I would say Conte to PSG is not done, but I think it's very likely. A lot of the rumours are coming from Di Marzio, who has traditionally had, for many years, links with, however it comes about. But he's had a lot of links with Conte. They often seem to know Chelsea news before everybody else, Chelsea transfer news. I would say there is no doubt that PSG are trying to get Conte. And I think it just fits all parties. He's not going to stay at Chelsea, it looks like.
Yeah.
PSG need a step up from Unai Emery. Undoubtedly, Conte is that man. That seems done. I don't think Tuchel even wants the PSG job. I just think Tuchel might be one of these managers that wants the Arsenal job but ends up at Southampton, with all due respect to Southampton, just because I don't think he's done enough. I don't think he's a guy... I could see, you mentioned Ancelotti. If Arsenal were to appoint Ancelotti, then you've got, a guy with serious experience. I don't think Ancelotti's the right guy. Like I said earlier, I think you need to go for a younger guy. Plus, there was an interview with beIN Sport with Wenger yesterday.
Right,
where they said
the timing with this.
But where they said to him, look, if you win the Europa League, will you leave? Which to me, I understand why he wouldn't say no. But, like why he would say no and wouldn't say, all right, if I win a competition, I'll leave. But his answer was just like, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, he said all throughout his Arsenal career, I'm going to stay until my contract ends. Each time he's done that, he's done it all the way through. I think if Arsenal want to get Tuchel in and want to sack Wenger, then I think somebody needs to, number one, tell Wenger, and number two, actually sack him.
There you have it. Wenger's, of course, under contract until the end of next season, 2019. Conte is also under contract until 2019, actually. There's a lot that's going to be happening this summer.
But Conte, we know, is in dispute with the Chelsea board.
Yeah, for sure.
He's been very public about it.
Yeah.
And I think it makes sense for PSG to go for he is a good manager, there's no doubt. And I don't think for me, Conte to go to Italy, which is allegedly his other choice, is a step backwards because he's already managed them. He's not exactly, he wouldn't be taking them into a World Cup, he'd be taking them into European Championships, which he's already done. I'm not sure that's going to be his move.
No, there are actually reports on the Italian job also over the weekend that in fact the Italian FA have moved away from Conte. The two people that are that have the biggest chance of taking the Italian job are Ancelotti and Mancini. That's what they're saying right now.
Yeah, well, that makes more sense. They're also older. They're similar. They're very similar to types of figures in Italian football to Koeman in Holland, who just took their job. That kind of makes sense. Going back to Tuchel, I'm not sure. I think he's the right fit, but I'm not sure he's the right man, and I just don't think the whole Mislintat. It's not like he worked with Sven Mislintat at Dortmund and got on really well with him. No. It's exactly the opposite.
Yes.
So
there we have it. Okay, that's our summary on Thomas Tuchel going to Arsenal. We'll have to see what happens. This is going to play out over the summer.